Good Tuesday afternoon, everyone. I'm Fox 19 Now. First Alert meteorologist Brad Maushart with some great news for once. I know it's a little off-brand for me, but no case of the terrible Tuesdays this week. I mean, if you don't have any plans this evening, trying to get outside and make some. Got Paycor Stadium up, getting close to the little training sessions. We got public training sessions, our summer sessions over here just outside of Paycor coming up soon. Football season not too far away. I think preseason, less than a month away. So getting there in a hurry. And like I said, today really nice. We're catching a brief break in some of the heat, some of the humidity. I know it looks pretty hazy in this image back here, but that's just the camera. It's just a little too bright. We have very little humidity today, but that is not going to last long, so please try to get out there and take advantage of the nice Tuesday. You've been warned, because it's not going to last long. By the time we hit tomorrow, it's only about a degree of difference, but it's going to feel about 5 to 10 degrees warmer when all that humidity starts to push back into the area. So a brief break, uncommon this time of the year to get that lower humidity. Also, speaking of uncommon, you've probably seen this on social media. This is a video sent to us this past weekend and sent to the National Weather Service this past weekend out of Switzerland County, Indiana. And it is a now confirmed tornado. And just watching this, it's just kind of, I've done a lot of chasing of tornadoes in the day. I've done a lot of weather stuff over the years, and this is an interesting case. Having a look at this tornado footage out of southeast Indiana. It's interesting. I say this, there's another video that I saw. It looked like that other video might have been sped up just a little bit. It's just interesting because it looks more like a land spout to me. Yeah, there's rotation in the radar, but how high up in the clouds, where the radar is shooting, to me, there's just a lot of unknowns to this tornado. And even to the National Weather Service, there's some unknowns to this tornado that they confirmed yesterday. Thanks, Sarah, by the way, for taking that great video. This was just west of Patriot, Indiana, and it is the old EFU. I did not come up with that. I just want to point this out. That is the government. EFU, meaning the U, instead of like a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like we would typically rate a tornado. This is U because it is unknown. The reason being, where that tornado touched down, it is in the middle of a heavily wooded, and you can see it just goes down kind of in a ravine there. This is just near Patriot off the east side of your screen there, and the Ohio River and whatnot. They can't get back there to look and see if it did any damage. And, looking back at the video, to me, I don't see any leaves coming up. It's kind of weird. If you have a tornado that's kind of, cloud to ground, you would think you would see some debris or something kind of coming up a little bit, even if it's a very weak tornado, right? Even at EF0, I don't know. It seems like there's just more up than there is the spin, which you would expect with a tornado. I don't know. Again, I'm not the National Weather Service. I didn't go out there and work with the partners to take a look at this thing. To me, it's interesting. I'll just put it that way. 4:31 start time, 4:35 end time. The path length was just under 3/4 of a mile, and it looks like they have it crossing over at some point Swanson Road down there in Switzerland County. So something I've been looking at the last couple days. I was hesitant to share the video just because the one video, not this one, but the other one that I saw that was posted, also from Sarah Hemingway, it just looked like the video had been sped up a little bit, which is interesting. But anyway, like I said, they're saying this is condensation. To me, it looks like there's something like a fire going on back there in the woods, maybe by lightning, and then that smoke's getting ingested and pulled up. I don't know. I'm just used to seeing things that look a little bit different than this. So I don't know. You can tell me in the comments how wrong you think I am. That's always a common thing. So. Let's see what we got going on. I don't know if anybody's in the comment world over here talking. I'm trying to work with my friends to get fantasy football scheduled. We got a little bit of everything going on here on a Tuesday. And like I mentioned, yes, they do have their trainings, their open trainings coming up soon, the Bengals. So if you're going to be heading down to that, I think that begins tomorrow. Tomorrow's still nice outside. You're not going to have any big weather issues outside of trying to stay cool for that. So again, there is our confirmed tornado, a rather uncommon, you might say, or rare EFU tornado. It might be the only one in the country this year. I'm not really sure, Sometimes you see that out in the middle of nowhere in the plains where, the National Weather Service office is like 100 miles away and you don't want to go out and survey something and you have it on video and you just kind of go with that. But anywho, I digress. Again, one more time with the map. Here is where that tornado was. Lagged a lot there. My computer did not like that. Again, just west of Patriot, Indiana, right around Swanson Road, south of Asherman and Boone Robinson Roads and so on. One more tornado to add to the list, and that's why we were on the air breaking in there on Sunday. So that was even before we broke in. That was at 4:30 in the afternoon. This particular tornado, the EFU did not have any warnings associated with it. There was some rotation showing up in the velocity product, but just a scan or two of it that showed that. So again, a very short-lived tornado out there. In Switzerland County, I digress. Let's get into good weather, good numbers. Good stuff going on today. I'll try to hide this mic cord a little better. Weather number is 10. If you were watching yesterday, you probably already know what this weather number is. At least you might have a good idea of it. And that weather number is 10. That was the number of days at the airport running through the day yesterday. Yesterday we picked up 1/100th of an inch of rain, so we're on the board. This streak ends today because it's sunny outside. It was 10 days in a row that we had measurable precipitation. 10 days in a row. It was the 12th to the 21st, something like that. Yeah, because today's the 22nd. 12th to the 21st. We had 10 days in a row that we had measurable precipitation. That's a lot of days to have it consistently. I mean, you could have, 29 out of 31 days in July, and it's still not that big of a deal if, you have a couple of those streaks broken up. But this one was 10 in a row. That is the second longest stretch all time, going all the way back. It's like a 5-way tie for second place there at 10 days. We had 4 years, wish we had 11. That was the longest stretch. We're not going to get to 11 today. We don't have any rain unless somebody goes over to, don't do this. Just say if somebody goes over there with a garden hose and sprays the weather station. But please don't do that. You will get arrested. It is at the airport. Either way, yeah, it's, the record time, the most recently, did I not write that down? Wow. Amateur. I'm an amateur. 11 was the longest stretch, and I think it was back in it wasn't 2017, maybe it was. Or 2017 might have been when we hit 10. I don't know. It's not super important. Either way, I know it was the second longest stretch. 11 was the record. It was set 4 times. We hit 11 days. I'm not sure when most recently. I should have written that down. The 10-day total over this 10-day stretch, I'm just going to keep rattling numbers because it seemed to go well yesterday, put a few people to sleep. Number-wise, 5.43 inches of rain. So on average, about a ½ inch per day or a little bit more than that over that last 10 days. It's been a mess. But here's the good news. Switching from bad news to good news. We have no rain chances today. We have no rain chances tomorrow. But as we start to work our way back towards the end of this weekend, temperatures are going back up, humidity levels are going back up, and rain chances all on the rise. So get out there and enjoy your Tuesday. If you have some yard work you need to take care of, get it done today. Tomorrow's still fine, but I'm telling you, you're going to pay the price in sweat on your Wednesday. Much warmer. Feels like temperatures. Tomorrow, it's only a degree of difference, but it's going to be much warmer outside. It's going to feel a lot warmer with high humidity. 78 right now on our way to 86 this afternoon. 80 degrees already at Lunkin, 79 in Falmouth. You can see some slightly warmer temperatures back there in Evansville. That is the warm-up that is going to be heading our direction as we start to work our way into Wednesday. But for right now, high pressure is just off to our northeast, and you can see we are under that dome of protective high pressure. It is keeping us high and dry. All the clouds pretty much now out of the tri-state. And we are still on the good side of the high. Now, generally, you want to be right under it or just off to the east of it. That high pressure area right now is over here just around Lake Erie. I'm going to throw it on the map. It's still close enough that we're just seeing an east wind right now into the area, under that area of high pressure. But if you continue that wind stream, you can see what happens around that area of high pressure. As it slides further east, we're going to start to catch this southerly breeze as we work our way back into the day tomorrow. And what that's going to do is going to kick up the humidity. It's going to kick up the temperatures a few degrees, and that's really going to start to ramp up by Thursday and Friday. And then eventually we'll have to turn our eyes here off to the west. Take a look out here, and you can see what's going on. We got a couple lows out here spinning right now. This is what's going to be on tap for the end of the week and into the weekend. A cold front is going to get close to us Saturday into Sunday. It will not pass us by. You shall not pass. Like this one, which has given us the break in the humidity today, this cold front is going to kind of stall out just up to our north and then carry on. And when that happens, we're not going to get any relief from it. It will dry out a little bit Monday and Tuesday next week, but we're not going to see the humidity relief. We're not going to see the heat relief. We're still in the 90s again early next week, so it gives us a good jumping point with dry weather. And a lot of spots to get really warm really quick. We'll show you those temperatures, expected temperatures next week coming up in just a bit. But for the next couple days, like I said, today, that's your pick day. Get outside, enjoy it. Out there, we're talking temperatures 86. It's right around where we should be for this time of the year. Really nice day, nice evening. Still very dry this evening, so if you don't have any evening plans, great patio weather, be it at home or out and about, on the town. And then tonight, we end up sinking back down to another comfortable 66 degrees. Here downtown, I lied. 68 is what I have us for. 68 the Lunkin temperature. 66 over at the International Airport. Most spots, low to mid 60s, just depending on where you're at. Things start to tick up as early as tomorrow afternoon. You're going to notice a difference in humidity. We're going to see mid to upper 90s feels like temperatures tomorrow. By the time we hit Thursday, we're talking triple digits. So that's how quickly this is going to turn around as we work our way towards the end of the week. 90s actual temperature Thursday, triple digit heat indices. Same for Friday. Most of the Friday threat looks to hold off until late in the evening. The Reds are back in town Friday night. And it's a fireworks Friday, as you would expect. The Rays are here for a 3-game series, then it goes to a Dodger series early next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday. One of those series is weird. They're here for like 7 or 10 straight days. But I do know at least the next 3, which is, I'm not the sports person, clearly, as you can tell. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's with the Rays, Tampa Bay here in town, and it wouldn't be a red series without chances for rain each of those days. But it looks like most of the rain Friday is going to hold off until after fireworks Friday. I'm Cincinnati optimistic that we'll make that happen for you. Here we go, looking ahead. This is tomorrow, early in the morning. Again, not a whole lot happening. Any rain chances tomorrow well off to the east, so we don't have to worry about that. Your Wednesday looks good, just a little bit warmer outside. Working away into Thursday, you could see some spotty storms start to push back in. I got us at about a 30% chance. But temperatures in between those rain showers, they are going to be sultry. 90 degrees feels like temperatures triple digits. So if you get some rain, it'll help you, but it's not going to be enough to cool us all off. So whoever gets the rain will be happy there on Thursday. Friday, better rain chances arrive, but it's mostly late Friday night and then into the weekend. And then Saturday and Sunday, there's a lot of yellow showing up. That's some intense pockets of rain. Again, just like this past weekend, which, don't get me wrong, it stunk, right? We had some rain at times. There was plenty of dry time, too. And that's what we'll see outside for this upcoming weekend. Intense pockets of rain at times, but some dry time mixed in. Right now, there's a slim chance. It's still too far out for details, but right now I have it just kind of a slim chance for a strong storm or two, both Saturday and Sunday as this cold front gets a little bit closer to us. But no washouts this weekend. Overall, most of the heaviest rainfall should be around and north of I-70 between Columbus and Indianapolis, and like I said, further north, Dayton area maybe. But can't rule out some heavy rainfall or maybe some localized flooding here into the weekend. But shouldn't be as bad as what we saw with, like I said, 10 consecutive days of rain. We'll take a little cool down into the weekend. Temperatures back in the mid-80s both Saturday and Sunday. And like I said, this cold front you're seeing there on the screen, it is not going to go by. It's just kind of going to sink right down to the northern fringes of our tri-state area through Sunday, and then it pushes right back off to the east and kind of fizzles out. So Monday, Tuesday, we're clearing back out. We shouldn't see too much in the way of rain chances out there, but since that front does not pass us, it is going to be very, very warm. We're talking low to mid-90s Tuesday. And high humidity. We do not get that humidity relief on the backside of this cold front because we won't see the backside of it. And here's the rain totals we're expecting. Again, grain of salt with this. Just generally the higher amounts should be farther north, around I-70, but some areas could see over an inch or two of rain. If you get really unlucky and get one of those slow-moving downpours, yeah, you might get a little more than that, but that's going to be very localized. Most of us are going to be an inch or less in the rainfall department this weekend. And then here's the other bad news. Again, we're seeing a nice break right now, but it is not going to last long. By the time we hit Wednesday, things are already starting to push back in the wrong direction. We're seeing high humidity, almost tropical levels Thursday night into Friday, tropical levels Friday night into Saturday, tropical levels Saturday, Sunday, Monday next week, and it doesn't look like it's going to let up at all. Again, no front passing us by to help us, dry out a little bit. So here's what the temperatures will look like, where we Get back into the 90s there Thursday and Friday with that high humidity. Feels like temperatures are in the triple digits. If you get some rain, yeah, it'll cool you off a bit, but most of us are not going to get that lucky. Saturday and Sunday, better rain chances do cool us down a bit, and the cold front gets just close enough that we'll cool down back to about normal. But since the cold front does not go by, here comes 89 on Monday, 91 Tuesday, and I have an early look ahead, your first alert into next week, which is way too far away. But next Wednesday, we're going to keep our eyes on that one. That's the 30th of July, almost the end of the month. There's a slightly better chance for some stronger storms there. That's the early indication. Yeah, a lot can change. It could be completely dry next Wednesday. But at least for right now, what's coming in looks like we'll see a better chance for some strong storms the middle of next week. A little bit better than the chances we'll see this weekend. Slim chance Saturday and Sunday as that cold front gets closer to us. Slightly better chances. Just go ahead and mark it on your calendar. Not really, but if you want to. So you can check me later next week on this one. But July the 30th, it looks like we'll see a slightly better chance as things come together for a strong storm or two. If not in Cincinnati, somewhere around the Ohio Valley, we'll have better chances next week. That's what it's looking like. Here are the temperatures. Feels like temperatures. Like I said, it's only a degree of difference tomorrow. 86 today, 87 Wednesday, but it's going to feel like 97 tomorrow. I mean, it is going to be very, very warm outside. At its worst, it'll feel like 97 degrees, almost 100 degrees. So big difference is that humidity floods back in. And sometimes this particular model overdoes it a little bit too here on the feels like temperatures. But can't rule out, 100 to 105 or so out there for Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday's the exception because it does look like we're partly cloudy, a lot of sunshine. That'll allow temperatures to jump up quick into the 90s, and with high humidity, I don't think it's going to be quite that warm, but it certainly will be pretty steamy to start next week. So here is your 7-day forecast, and for the first time this week, I have gotten the right one up to start. 87 tomorrow. Again, feels like 97. So very hot and humid, but it's still a dry day. If you have the yard work today, pick today. Thursday, Friday, spotty chance, Thursday. Better chances for some storms late Friday night into Saturday, and then we'll hang on to scattered storms through the weekend. Slim chance on Saturday and Sunday. One or two could be on the stronger side. Just enough heat and humidity out there. The ingredients are there to get a strong storm, but not anything organized, I guess. Not a widespread severe weather event or anything, but something to keep an eye on with the outdoor plans for Saturday and Sunday, because there will be some dry time mixed in. Monday, we do clear back out. Rain exits early. The clouds will clear out as we work way through the day. And since the cold front, as I've mentioned about 16 times, since it will not pass us by, we're starting off then at 89, 91, steamy out there. Hot, hazy, and humid for Tuesday. I don't have any comments, which is always nice. If anybody missed the first half of this stream, I'm going to hop back up towards the top because as of yesterday, we did have one more confirmed tornado to add to the 2025 list. We'll see if the computer catches on fire as I try to pull this map back up. Let's see. Loading. All right, there it was. So that's the tornado path, almost 3/4 of a mile long because we're fairly zoomed in here, and about 2 miles southwest of the Patriot, Indiana area. So this is Switzerland County, Indiana. And the reason it's an EFU, that is not a funny joke I tried to sneak in there. The U stands for unknown. And the reason being it's in such a rural and kind of hard to reach spot, being kind of in a ravine there and a lot of heavily wooded area back in that way. They can't get anybody in to survey any potential tree damage or anything. So that is why it's an EFU. It was a 4-minute tornado, lasted 4 minutes, started at 4:31 Sunday, lasted through 4:35, and it was on the ground, guesstimated there, again, because they can't get an exact path on that, but they're putting it at about 3/4 of a mile, 0.69 miles, and an unknown width to that path. Here was the video of that now confirmed tornado. We'll put this into motion here.
Let me call you right back.
And you can see, to me, this looks like a land spout. I know they've gone back and said there was rotation from the top to the bottom, the National Weather Service, and they are smarter than I am. But it just does not look like a solid condensation funnel to me. Really almost looks like there's a fire or something going out there in the woods and the smoke's rising up and getting pulled into the storm because it looks like there's just more directly up than a spin like you would associate with some rotation coming from the cloud base. But I mean, you can still make out a little bit of a spin up there. If it was a tornado and it was actually on the ground and it was causing any kind of damage, I mean, this is a weak tornado. We're talking probably, I think we pulled out the gate-to-gate shear, which is how away towards altogether the combined spin, and it was less than like 60 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. So it's not going to do much damage anyway. But I know it's kind of far away in this shot, but I don't really see leaves or anything coming off those trees. It's in a heavily wooded area. I'd expect a tornado doing something, and I just don't see it. So thanks again for those videos, because without that we wouldn't have confirmed this tornado to begin with. So interesting tornado. The EFU. I don't think in my professional career I've talked about an EFU. They've always been able to survey them. So interesting stuff here. All right, I don't have any comments. I put everybody to sleep with all the numbers we talked about. We are drying back out. We'll call it quits today. That way I can go get lunch and get ready for the afternoon. More weather to talk about. Always something happening, and that weather arrives as early as Thursday. A spotty chance outside. More of us are still dry until we hit Friday night, and that's when the next best chance for storm starts to dive back in. Cold front gets a little bit closer to us into this weekend, enough to kind of wring us out like a sponge. Saturday and Sunday, it will not be an all-day rain event, so just be aware of that. Not going to see rain all day this weekend, both days, but there will be good rain chances. So just be cautious, as typical, with the outdoor plans out there. Monday, we dry back out, but since the cold front does not go by, it is going to be hot. 89 Monday, 91 next Tuesday, and feels like temperatures likely triple digits Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. Stay cool, stay hydrated. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back at 3 and 4. Steve will be on at 5 and into the evening hours tonight. We'll see you then. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I'll let you go too, because you want to get out there and enjoy what is easily our best day of what we've seen in probably a month. So get outside, enjoy your Tuesday. No case of the terrible Tuesdays this week, anybody.